I never imagined one night, just a single night, could tear apart everything I thought I knew about my marriage. One unexpected knock at the door, one shadow in the hallway, and suddenly I was forced to ask myself, who did I really marry? That night wasn't supposed to happen, it wasn't planned, and yet, it changed my life forever. My husband was there, but so was someone else, and what I saw, what I heard, still haunts me to this day. If I told you that trust can shatter in just a heartbeat, would you believe me? Please take a second to like and subscribe to this channel. My name doesn't matter right now. What matters is that until that night, I believed my life was perfect. I was married to Daniel, my college sweetheart. He wasn't just my husband, he was my safe place, my best friend, the man who held my hand when the world felt too heavy. We built a beautiful life together, a small house on the edge of town, the kind with creaking floors and warm light spilling through the windows at night. We laughed often. We fought sometimes, like all couples do, but never in a way that made me doubt him. Our friends used to say we were the couple that gave them hope, the ones who made marriage look easy. And I believed them. I believed us. But what people don't see are the tiny cracks, the little moments, the secrets you tuck away in the corners of your heart because you don't want to ruin the picture everyone else admires. For me, those cracks began with silence, conversations that ended too quickly, phone calls he would take in another room, and the way his smile sometimes felt rehearsed. Still, I convinced myself it was nothing. He worked hard, he was tired, we were just busy. Until that night. The night that would make me question everything I thought I knew. That evening felt ordinary. Too ordinary. Daniel had come home later than usual, his shirt slightly wrinkled, his cologne stronger than normal. I remember asking if everything was okay, and he smiled, nodding quickly, almost too quickly, before changing the subject. We sat down for dinner, but his mind wasn't at the table. He pushed food around his plate, barely tasting it, glancing at his phone every few minutes. When I asked who he was waiting to hear from, he said, "Just work." But the way his voice dipped, the way his eyes avoided mine, it left a weight in my chest. Later, after dishes and silence, I decided to let it go. I convinced myself I was imagining things. But that's when it happened, the first shift. His phone lit up on the counter while he was in the shower. I don't usually check, I respect his privacy. But something in me froze when I saw the name flash across the screen. A woman's name I didn't recognize. Short, familiar. Like it belonged to someone who had history with him. I didn't open the message. My hands trembled, my breath caught, but I walked away. Still, the questions followed me everywhere. Who was she? Why was she texting him at night? When he came out of the bathroom, I studied him carefully. His smile seemed forced, his laugh too sharp. I wanted to ask, but my words got trapped in my throat. Over the next few days, the signs multiplied, unexplained absences, a scent on his clothes I didn't wear. And one night, when I leaned close to kiss him, he turned his head just enough for me to notice. Small things, yes, but they cut deeper than any argument ever could. And then came the night, the unexpected night, that would finally rip the truth open. That night started with rain. Heavy, endless rain that tapped against the windows like impatient fingers. Daniel said he was working late again, but something in me refused to believe him this time. I paced the living room, staring at the clock, every minute dragging slower than the one before. His words echoed in my head, "Don't wait up," but how could I not? He was my husband. And yet, he felt like a stranger slipping through my fingers. Hours passed. The rain kept falling, and then, close to midnight, I heard it, the sound of a car pulling into our driveway. My heart leapt, but not with relief, with dread. I moved to the window, careful not to be seen. Daniel stepped out of the car. But he wasn't alone. A figure emerged from the passenger side, holding an umbrella. A woman. She leaned toward him, speaking softly, her hand brushing his arm like they had done it before. I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened. It wasn't what I saw, it was what I felt. The familiarity between them. The unspoken closeness that no words could explain away. I wanted to run outside, demand answers, but I froze. Instead, I waited in the dark, listening to the sound of the front door unlocking, the murmur of voices, the sudden silence when they realized I was awake. He called out my name, casually, as if nothing had happened. But I stayed quiet, hidden in the shadow of the hallway. That's when I heard her voice, soft, nervous, asking, "Are you sure this is okay?" And his answer was a whisper that sliced straight through me. "She won't know." I stumbled back, my hand covering my mouth, my body trembling. Every part of me wanted to scream, to confront, to fight for the truth. but something inside me told me to wait, to listen, to let the pieces reveal themselves fully before I stepped into the storm. From the hallway, I caught glimpses, Daniel guiding her toward the kitchen, offering her a drink, lowering his voice whenever he thought I might hear. Their shadows stretched across the wall like secrets made visible. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't just witnessing a mistake. I was standing at the edge of a truth that could destroy everything we had built. I couldn't stay hidden any longer. My legs carried me forward before my mind could stop them. I stepped into the kitchen doorway, and there they were, Daniel standing too close to her, and the woman whose face finally came into the light. I froze. My heart nearly stopped. It was Claire, not a stranger, not a colleague, but Claire, my old friend, someone I had welcomed into our home, trusted with my secrets, laughed with over glasses of wine. She looked at me first, her face drained of color, her lips parting in shock. Daniel spun around, his expression caught between guilt and panic. Claire stammered, reaching for her bag, whispering something about it being a mistake. But the look in Daniel's eyes told me everything. This wasn't the first time. Mistakes don't look like that. Mistakes don't linger in the air like a secret you've been keeping far too long. He tried to step toward me, his hands raised as if he could smooth the cracks with an apology. "Please, it's not what you think," he said. But it was exactly what I thought. And worse, I backed away, my chest tightening, my vision blurring. The walls of our home, our safe place, suddenly felt like they were collapsing around me. Every laugh, every kiss, every whispered promise of forever, shattered in that single moment. I wanted to ask her why. Why my friend? Why my husband? But the betrayal sat too heavy on my tongue. I couldn't give them the gift of my words. Not yet. Instead, I turned, walking away, leaving them standing in the wreckage of their own choices. My hands trembled, my breath came in sharp, broken pieces, but I kept moving. Because if I didn't, I would fall apart right there in front of them. I spent that night awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the rain beat against the windows. My body was still, but my mind was a storm I couldn't escape. Every word we had ever spoken, every promise we had ever made, replayed in my head like a cruel joke. By morning, the house felt different. The walls that once held love now carried shadows. Daniel tried to speak, but I couldn't hear him. His words were noise, empty sounds bouncing off the walls. Claire was gone, but her presence lingered like a stain I couldn't scrub out of my memory. I sat at the kitchen table, my hands wrapped around a cup of coffee I couldn't bring myself to drink. And I asked myself the question no one ever wants to face. What do you do when the person you trusted most becomes the person who hurt you the deepest? Some people say forgiveness is strength. Others say walking away is survival. But in that moment, I realized there is no right answer, only pain, only choices. And whichever one I made would change me forever. I wish I could tell you that I had clarity, that I knew what to do next, but the truth is, I'm still figuring it out. I don't know if love can survive betrayal this deep. I don't know if trust can ever be rebuilt. What I do know is that one unexpected night shattered the life I thought I had. And now, every step I take forward feels like walking on broken glass. So, let me ask you, if you were in my place, if the person you loved most betrayed you with someone you trusted, what would you do? Would you stay and try to mend what's broken? Or would you walk away, even if it meant leaving everything behind? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes the truth is stranger and far more painful than anything we could imagine.